Epic Pets. Can you make a more efficient method of making videos? You make several in one day and it throws us off as to when you answer questions. Seems very random, and maybe that's why many questions are missed. And there's some replies here that I probably won't be able to get to because I'm out in the boondocks. Oh, Logan Martell says be grateful. Oh. And Light Shenanigans says they aren't obligated to do videos. Be thankful they are sharing the knowledge. Well, I think that's very true. So here's the thing, you know. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you some things that we're fixing to do. So the first thing is, I can tell you one thing that I think is the worst thing about our videos. There is no structured format where somebody can go to the YouTube channel and say, I want to find some information out about parvo, or I want to find some information about flat-chested puppies and how to fix it. You've just got to sort through all of my videos and try and put in some words and see what comes up. And that's really unfortunate because, you know, there is a lot of good content here, but it's certainly not searchable in any degree at all. And then when people ask questions, you don't know how quickly those questions can be answered. Typically, it's 3, 4, 5 days, and some people have got questions they'd like to be answered right now. So I fully understand what you're getting at. The problem is, how do you do this? And this is what we're going to start doing. We are going to continue to do the Q&As, but we are going to have a seminar, downloadable seminars on Teachable, where you sign up for it, and it's going to cost you some money as a subscription, but you'll have all of this information available to you. Any video that I've ever done of any relevance will be indexed in a chronological order with a whole set of courses for people who've got stud dogs, people who've got female dogs, and people who've got puppies, to help people get all the right information they need in a very digestible and manageable form. That is going to happen. How long will it take before that happens? Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And we'll have some introduction. It is going to cost money. It's not going to be a free service. It's not going to be hugely expensive, and it will be a subscription-based thing, so you can have access to all of it and then decide that it's great and you want to keep on having it, or you don't. But I'll give you more information on that as that time comes. So that's that's what's in the works, and the idea behind this is it's going to prompt me to be more organized and give you something in a more organized format that I'm hoping will be very useful to you. So for right now with the Q&A sessions, we just do this when it's convenient for us, basically when we're driving around, because it does take quite a bit of time and effort to do all this. And let me say, there is no monetary value in it at all. So we are going to monetize it, and by doing that, we were going to make it better. And hopefully that will be something that's of interest to a lot of you. So if it is, I'd like a thumbs up. Give me some encouragement to get on with this. And but a good question, a fair enough question. But it's basically you've got to remember, when it's free, you take what you get. Okay, here's the next one. Help please, love your videos. My female had a progesterone level of 1.2 on 8/12, then 8/17, which would be 5 days later, of 20 plus on Nidex machine. I bred her immediately on 8/17, 8/18. She was confirmed pregnant with at least 4 puppies. I've watched your videos on... So now what the question is when should we schedule a C-section? So remember, you don't schedule a C-section, you schedule a window for a C-section. So the question is, since her jumped up so quickly, what was probably the right day to AI? So on 8/17, you did an AI on 20 plus. Well, that was darn close to the right day. It was probably within half a day of the right day. How do I know that? First off, because progesterone levels jump really rapidly from what on an IDEX of 15 would be the right day to AI versus 20. The next day after a 15, you'd be at a 25 or a 28. So I know that you're within half a day of the right time. So just take the 8/17 as being the right date and go forward 61 days from 8/17. And that's going to get you in the window. That's all it is. It's in the window. It doesn't mean that's the right date. Don't get suckered into this. I'm going to do a C-section at this date regardless of everything else. Pay attention to her temperature, her progesterone levels, whether she's eating, nesting, panting, all these other things. All right, good. Kathleen Rayner, belly bands are the best. So we had a video or Q&A, people are asking, how do you stop a dog pissing in the house? A male dog. How do you stop him from peeing all over the place? My male fills his up so quickly, I keep thinking, how would my house smell? He doesn't mind his belly band and never tries to take it off. Yeah, and so he said, Tammy looks fantastic today. That's nice. Yeah, so there you go, belly band, absolutely. So if you're gonna, the question, the original question was, what do you do if you've got a stud dog in the house to stop him from peeing all the time all over the place? And the answer is that you've got to do some training and use the belly band. So good information. Well, someone's congratulating me on being very good explaining stuff. That was Brandy. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate the encouragement there. What progesterone number is good for breeding for getting the biggest litter? I think that I may have already answered this question from the last time. But the answer is progesterone levels vary by machine. So if we're talking about vets, most of them have IDEX machines. On an IDEX machine, you want to do a vaginal AR on 15 or a TCR or surgical a day later, and you're more like a 25 to a 30. If you're talking about the fine care machine, which a lot of people have got, including myself, that's higher numbers. We start breeding on a fine care vaginally on a 17, start breeding on a 22, and do TCIs on something like a 25 to a 35, or surgicals. Then if you're talking about a mini Vitus, they have much higher numbers. And I don't have the chart in front of me, but basically on a mini Vitus, you're going to start breeding vaginally on around a 28. So it's quite a bit higher number on a mini Vitus. And without having that chart in front of me, I'm not going to be able to tell you, the TCIs, but a TCI on a mini Vitus is probably something around 48 to 50. Probably about right. So they're lots higher numbers. So that's why it's important when you get a report back from the vet that you ask what kind of machine was it run on, because that is going to affect how you're going to interpret that data. And then one other thing, of course, is if you're in Europe, we talk about nanograms per nanomole, and they are 3.18 times higher than what we use in the US, which is nanograms per milliliter. So a dog that is a 15 to be bred in the USA, nanograms per nanograms per milliliter would be something around a 50 if we were breeding that in the UK with the results that were given in nanograms per nanomole. All right, good. Then last one is, I had a person the other day, it's not a question, but I had a phone call the other day, and somebody had asked about, their vet had said, well, they'd seen my videos, and they were under the impression that I suggested that you worm dogs, puppies, at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. And their vet said, there's no need to worm the dogs. They don't have any worms at this point. Well, I think that's bad advice. So here's the thing. Mama dogs have worms. You can't see them, but they're in there. They're kept under control by her immune system, but there are worms in there. There are parasites in there, and those parasites will cross over in the milk and get to the puppies. So you want to knock down the amount of parasites that might be present prior to whelp, after whelp, and in the puppies. So this is what we do. We use Safeguard. It's also called fendobendazole. It's a goat wormer. It's very inexpensive. It's very safe. And we use that for 3 days straight, around a week, 10 days to a week before whelp. We give her 3 days worth of that. Then after whelp, a week after whelp, we give her another 3 days of that. Then we start on the puppies. 1 day only, at 2 and 4 weeks, we give parental Paomate or Nemex 2. If you buy parental Paomate on Amazon, it's a heck of a lot less expensive than buying Nemex 2. And you don't have to have a vet's prescription for any of this stuff. You can get this over the counter at Amazon, or we've got here is Tractor Supply. They handle it. And then when the puppies get to when they're 6 weeks old, and 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, we continue to give them the same stuff we gave mum, which is the a Safeguard or fendobendazole, and we give that for 3 days straight. And the dosage for that is, I think, 1 milliliter per 5 pounds of body weight. But you can go look that up just to make sure you're getting it right. But yeah, so I think the advice of just because you've got an indoor dog, it's not around other dogs, doesn't go to the dog park, doesn't show any evidence of worms, great. Got nice solid poop. But then to say we're not going to worm her or the puppies, I think is a mistake. Because there are worms present, you just don't realize it. They're at a very low level, but they're there. But that's all it takes to get puppies infected. And I mean, it does impact their start on life. What the problem with worms is that you get malnourished, because the worms are eating the food up. And the worms can do much worse than that, of course, as well, especially if they get out of control. But the point here is that it's safe. There's no reason not to worm. It's like saying I'm not going to vaccinate because my dog's not around other dogs and it's not going to get kennel cough or parvo. Another bad idea. You know, your doctor would not tell you not to vaccinate, even if the dog was not physically around other animals that might be infected. You just do it. And why do you do it? Because it's safe. The chances of having a bad reaction to a vaccine are small. They are there, but they're very small. The chance of having a bad reaction to getting parvo is much worse. So there we go. 10 minutes of time wasted. Thanks for watching. Bye, buddy. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.